My stepfather deleted my mother and then deleted himself. I don't know what to do. I don't really know what to say. The police just showed up in front of my door and told me my stepfather deleted my mother. I know this doesn't sound real. I have my boyfriend and my best friend here. I've known this for about 2.5 hours. It still doesn't seem real. I don't really know what I want to accomplish with this post, but I swear it is real. It's 3:51 a.m. in Berlin right now. We were trying to finish watching the movie that we started before the police rang at my door. I don't know what to do. Edit. The police just called me. My stepfather deleted himself. I wish I could destroy him. Right now, I just feel empty. Edit 2. I don't even know why I'm posting here. I'm usually just a lurker. I guess I just want somebody to know. I feel like the whole world should know. My mother is the most amazing person, and she has always been my idol. I just don't know how to feel. I'm in our apartment, and I feel like everything I see is her. My evening started so differently. Everything started so differently. I haven't slept yet, and I don't know how I will. Though sleeping is usually my talent. Mom wakes me up every afternoon if she feels like I'm sleeping too long. Since I moved back in during the COVID lockdown. Update. Recovered deleted post. Hello. My last post got capped, so I made a throwaway account. It's been about 24 hours since the police stood in front of the door to my mom's in my apartment and told me that my mother is deleted. I've cried so much today. I feel like it's been an ocean of tears. So much that I just feel empty now. I miss her so effing much. It still just feels like a bad dream. This can't really be real. Her deletion was on the news, and I saw a picture of a body in a blue body bag being rolled into the back of a wagon. That is my mother in that bag. Oh my God. I'm going to run down what happened again. Maybe this will make it more real for me. I don't know. My boyfriend and I were in the park playing speedminton on Wednesday evening when my mom called me and told me she would be coming home. I asked her if everything was okay, and she said yes, not to worry about it, and my boyfriend was still welcome to come over if he liked. I told her, okay, I would see her in a moment. We both went home, and she wasn't there. I wasn't worried. My stepfather and my mom have been together for a while, and they're very much in love, but they can fight a lot sometimes. They always make up very quickly. I tried calling her several times to know if she wanted dinner, sent her text messages, and texted and called my stepfather as well. They didn't answer. This wasn't so unusual either. I thought they just made up. I'm guessing by this time he had already stabbed her. I feel sick writing this sentence. The police showed up at 3 in the morning, informed me, and I stayed in the apartment while my boyfriend called my best friend, who rushed over with a taxi. Everything is kind of a blur from then on. I remember sitting down to write the Reddit post because I didn't know how to feel or what to do, and I guess I wanted to scream my pain into the internet void. At that point, my stepfather hadn't deleted himself yet. He had taken his car up to the countryside, where my mother has a tiny little house at the lake, which is her pride and joy. With her garden. Both of them went up there every weekend together. He deleted himself there. I've never been so angry in my life. I loved him, he was a part of my family, and we got along really well. Some part of me wishes I could strangle him, or scratch his eyes out. I just want to scream in his face about how he could do this to me. To her, my lovely mother, she is such a effing light, she is such an incredible person, and we are so close. I told her everything. And not just because she's my mother, she is truly an absolutely amazing person. Everyone who met her loved her. I stayed awake until about 6 a.m. I smashed a few glasses. I cried a lot. We finished watching the movie. Today I had to call all of the people. My grandparents, her brother, and her friends. I had to call my stepfather's children in the UK and tell them what happened. I can't imagine how hard it must be for them. My mother was the victim, and their father was the murderer. I feel so bad for them. I've gotten so many calls and messages from people who are offering to help me in any way I need and who cry on the phone and ask me if this is real. Having to tell people over and over again what happened really wrecked me. Especially my grandparents. My granddad. I don't know how he is going to get through this. He just kept screaming, no, not my. I have to go to the police today to give a statement. Probably talk about their relationship. I have to be there in 4.5 hours, and I haven't really slept yet. I can't really eat either. I just feel like throwing up. Just thinking about food. I wanted to thank all of you for your comments on my first post. I know we don't know each other and that I'm just some faraway voice on a screen with a terrible fate, but I did feel better reading your hugs and encouragement. I will have to think about getting a lawyer. My dad is sleeping in the other room. We're going to have to figure out how to go from here. Some part of me honestly doesn't see a point anymore. There's so much pain in my life. I've had so many bad experiences. I got through a essay and a drug problem, and everything was on its way up. And now this. But I love my mom more than anything, and I can't disappoint her. And I'm going to need to be here for my dad and me. I'm sorry for the long text. I just feel like I need to get something out. I feel so lost and empty. I miss my mom. Update. Hello, I guess in some way I wanted to give you people an update on what has been going on with me. When I posted my first post, I was slightly drunk. It was the night the police showed up at my house and rang the doorbell, and I was confused. All of your messages from random strangers, helped me in some way. I'd like to thank whoever sent me that poem by Mary Elizabeth Fry, Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep. We used that for the invitation to her party. And also Bianca, who painted that beautiful painting of her, which she sent me by email. Thank you. The poem by Mary Elizabeth Fry, Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glinting on the snow. I am the sun on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there, I did not die. Also, fair warning, this might be quite a long post. This might trigger someone, and I've been writing this post over several days as more information keeps trickling in, and the picture of that night is becoming clearer and clearer. I think I'm also mainly writing this for myself. What happened that night is just so surreal. I'm sitting at my mother's desk right now, in her little office in our apartment that I grew up in Berlin. Her presence, in some way, is all around me. It has been 23 days since the police showed up in front of my door at 3 a.m. and asked if they could come in. Since my stepfather hung himself, everything has been so confusing. It's all sort of a mixture between crying, screaming, yelling, throwing things, and just emptiness. I go through phases, and it's really hard to cope. Since that night, I haven't actually been alone. This is somewhat exhausting to me in some ways, but probably also very important. I'm going to go through the series of events and facts because I also want to set it right, since in the media, there is so much false information that it's hard to believe. My mother and my stepfather were together for 8 years, and he has only been living in Berlin since then. He has children from his previous marriage, that is all I will say. I am my mother's only daughter. He did not call me and confess to what he did, but he called some vaguely mutual friend who he walks his dog with sometimes. This was some time after 11 p.m. At this point, he was already up at the summer house. It takes about 1 hour and 45 minutes to get up there. This means my mother had been deleted for about 2 hours. It says so in the police report as well. The summer house did not belong to my stepdad, but to my mom. She poured all of the little money she had into it and renovated it by hand. It does not in any way belong to him. The police showed up at my mom's in my apartment late at night. They didn't know the address of where he might have gone and were also worried he might come and harm me since he had the keys to our apartment as well. I was watching a movie with a friend of mine. I posted on Reddit a few hours later, and the news articles started coming out the next day, connecting my stepfather to a celebrity. I posted because I needed help. This celebrity and my stepfather are by no means friends. They are acquaintances, and there is no reason for him to be brought into any of this. That was Wednesday night or Thursday morning. On Friday, I was at the LKA and gave a 3-hour statement about them and their relationship. This next part is about my feelings and mainly about my mom. Feel free to skip it. Since then, my whole world has been turned upside down. My mother, the person I honestly loved most in the whole world, was just torn from me. It feels like I have this big bleeding hole inside of me. I'm not crying all the time. Sometimes I feel okay, but more like empty. My mother has been with me my whole life, the whole 21 years, and I'm not just saying this because she is deleted. She is honestly the best mother you could wish for. She is goofy and caring. Her laugh is infectious, and she has such integrity. She is the most animated person. When she tells a story, she will get up from the table and gesture all around. Her eyes are so shining. I think I might show some pictures of her because I want people to recognize her beauty. I want the whole world to know she is gone. Because this is an honest and devastating loss to the world, believe me. She is so talented. She got her bachelor in art history in America, and she has worked odd jobs all her life. She's always been a hippie. When I was little, she started working at this English language summer camp in Thuringen, Germany, and she used to take me there for many weeks with her, on a hill, on a farm in the middle of a giant forest. She's a magician in the kitchen. She can open the fridge door and magically make something out of leftover ingredients that nobody would ever think tastes good. She likes to make everything herself. She would let milk go bad and make her own ricotta. I have 1,000 jars of her homemade chutneys and jams. She baked her own bread years before the pandemic. She made her own vinegar, syrups, and alcohol, and her hot sauces are legendary. I used to come home and open the fridge door, and I'd ask her which of the many bowls she had covered with little plates were edible and which weren't yet ready. Since she's deleted, I have found so many things to experiment with that I don't even know what they are. I wish I could ask her. There are so many things I wish I had the time to ask her. Writing this is making me cry again. At the beginning of the pandemic, March, I believe, I moved back in with her, and she ordered 14 different bottles of white wine on Lidl. And every night we'd drink one together while we cooked, and I'd write notes on the color and the taste, and we'd give it a 1 to 10 on the Lidl scale. She's one of the funniest people I know, and she is so forgiving. Even when I was younger, we would get into huge blow-up fights sometimes, and we'd scream. But 5 minutes later, she'd come into my room, and she'd apologize and tell me she loved me more than anything in the world. We told each other we loved one another all the time, sometimes just randomly, and hugged each other. I'm so grateful for this. I would say we had a rare mother-daughter bond. I love her with all my heart. She has always been my idol and my role model. If I'm even half as generous, hilarious, creative, emotional, forgiving, and understanding as she is, I will be lucky. I see her face in front of me all the time. I can hear her laugh. I'd really give anything for her to be with me right now. Anything. It really tears me apart. If it weren't for her, I would have probably been deleted 1.5 years ago. She pulled me out of my dark holes. She loved me unconditionally. She isn't just my mother, she is my best friend. And I will never forgive him for taking her from me, especially since more and more facts are coming out. End of emotional bit. It's important to say that I knew their relationship, or, to be more exact, that I was the closest to both of them together. And it's important to understand that he wasn't some creepy, abusive, scary bad guy. I loved him. He was like a best friend to me. When he came into my mother and my life, I took him in with open arms. I've confided in him, I've told him secrets, and we've had running jokes. We made bets with each other that I usually won, and he had to pay up. He was my family. This makes me feel just as conned. I feel cheated. I feel like I've been blind. I've had bad fights with him as well, and I knew about their fights, but I didn't see this coming, not even a little bit. I would never put my mother in harm's way. I guess this is why she must have kept things hidden from me. The deletion happened in his apartment, and afterwards he drove his car up to my mother's country house, which they both spent every weekend. Hunting mushrooms, planting and building things, and going swimming in the lake that's right in front of the door. This was their refuge. And I'm assuming this is the reason he went there. Since the day this happened, I've always assumed he blew up about something, lost control, and deleted my mother while he wasn't clear-headed. This is what made sense to me. He deleted himself because he deleted my mother. He didn't know how to continue. But the more time goes by and the more facts we uncover, the more it seems it was the opposite. He deleted my mother because he wanted to delete himself, and that he was covering something up. Since the night the police showed up, they've been asking me if I could know where their laptops were. They both had laptops, and both are missing. They found the empty cases, but they're gone. This sparked suspicion in us. His phone is gone as well. My mother is not. The police gave it to me. Then there are the other facts. Trigger warning: despite what was said in the media, she didn't have multiple stab wounds in her chest. There was only one very precise and very small wound that caused her deletion. He only let someone know what he did after he was up at the house. When he arrived at the cabin, he apparently parked normally and even greeted one of the neighbors. The pieces are falling into place. This was cold-blooded. I don't really know why I'm writing all this down in a Word document or why I'm going to post it on Reddit, but I need to share. I feel so much hatred and so much anger. I feel it boiling underneath my skin, and it keeps threatening to come out. I've smashed so much stuff, I've gotten so angry. Sometimes I snap and scream at people, and other times I just cry and beat my pillows. And sometimes I'm very calm. I can still feel joy. And my mother has this amazing circle of friends that I've known my whole life, and who are supporting me. I saw her body in the coffin, and I will never be able to get that image out of my head. She was so tiny, it broke my heart. I've also slept 2 nights at the cabin, and in the dark, every shadow looked like my stepfather. I've become scared and started locking my doors at night. Murder used to seem like something so far off, something that happened to other people in a different world from mine. But now it's not. And I won't let him spoil her place or her house. I won't let him take that away from her and from me. I refuse. I just miss her. I miss everything about her. It hasn't been that long yet, and all I want is for her to hug me, say my name, and say she loves me and that she thinks I'm an amazing young woman. I want her to cuddle with me in bed, which she did for so many years until I felt myself too old. I want to sit at the kitchen table in the morning with her, have her ask me what I dreamed about last night, and have both of us talk about our dreams. For her to talk with me about my story ideas and my poetry, and to talk with her about the book that she was writing and will never finish. It just hurts so much. I don't know how to ever get past this. She has always been the most amazing person I know, and I can't get over this. I don't know how to get over this. I feel lost. I feel like I have to grow up very fast now and carry her with me. There's so much more to tell. So much. but I should probably stop somewhere. I would appreciate all advice. Thank you for reading. Edit. Image link. There are 3 images. The first is a framed black and white photograph of OOP and her mom taken on the day OOP was born. The second shows OOP's mom carrying a young OOP on her back. The final image is a solo photograph of OOP's mother. OOP added to this thread. Hey everyone. Imagine my surprise scrolling through Reddit on my living room couch this fine afternoon when I see a little picture of my mom and me in my feed. I was not expecting that at all. And then to look further down and see all of these wonderful and heartfelt comments underneath, I couldn't believe it, and I actually started crying again. This is the reason I reached out back then into the void at my darkest time, and Reddit reached back and gave me something to hold on to. When you lose your faith in humanity in that way, I needed the love that came from so many strangers all over and the support. Yesterday was actually my birthday. I just turned 25, so it has been a bit over 3 years, and I can't believe that 3 years have passed. I can't stand to believe that so much time has passed without her. Thinking about it makes it hurt more. I miss her so much. Thank you to everyone for worrying about me and wishing me well. I'll give a quick update, and one of these days maybe sit down and write something more out. I've been in therapy for almost 2 years now, and I have a wonderful therapist who helps me greatly. It took me a while to find her, and there was a lot of trial and error with former therapists, but she's amazing, and I'm so happy I have her. She actually says that I have improved greatly, though my mother's deletion is something that I've buried very deep down in the darkness of my psyche, and we haven't quite reached it yet. My therapist says it's important not to force everything out at once, but to go step by step. She says that I'm protecting myself by keeping it numb. I think I agree. I have felt a particular kind of numbness ever since that happened. A few times during a session, we cracked through that wall, and what spilled out was, well, horrifying pain. So I'm fixing everything else that needs fixing, slowly and steadily. And it's going very well. I feel like I owe this to my mother, since I seem to have a tendency to get myself into toxic relationships as well, and I am not ready to go down that path any longer. Hence, I am taking a break from relationships. Shortly after my mother's deletion, I got 2 cats, since my mom and I had cats growing up and she loved them so much. One of them looks exactly like the reincarnation of our cat Nas, which I know she'd love. I still live at home, and I live in her room now, with all of the hundreds of books she collected and my own collection of novels I've added. My father and I held onto each other tightly throughout these last few years. I honestly don't know what I'd do without him. He's my rock. My father threw himself into working on the cabin. I think he loves being out in nature, but I think mostly he also loves feeling like he can do something for my mom. Every time he drives up, he brings flowers, and we have a little picture of her leaning against a tree with a candle in front of it, and he puts them there. I also know my mom would be positively thrilled to see everything we've done. I really feel her up there and have completely eradicated my stepfather from that place. It started out with stubbornness, but by now I just really believe there's nothing at his house, and if there was, it could go and F right off. I'll post some pictures with a link later. I'm very lucky because I have some absolutely lovely friends. Especially in the past few months, I've recognized just how amazing they are and how much support I have received from them. On Sunday evening, I planned to celebrate my birthday in a park in Berlin, and I was so touched by how many people showed up. I teared up multiple times throughout the night. We spent a lovely night drinking and playing Cards Against Humanity and Werewolf. Germans will know what I'm talking about. My closest friends helped me so much with setting up. Tea baked me a cake exactly like my mother used to make me. A lot of bad things have happened in the last few years, I won't lie. But also many good things, and I continue to fight on. If you guys are interested, I can give an in-depth report on what else we found out back then, but I should probably get up off this couch and go enjoy the last Berlin sun rays. This also got way longer than I expected. Thank you all for your lovely comments and well wishes. Thank you for watching the video.